Hello and welcome to my channel on Ancient and Chinese Astrology. I am professional astrologer Zagata from the website 100%astrology.com, and I would like to make a video about astrology and cryptocurrencies, and I will share two methods for prediction from my real practice. Now this is my channel Ancient and Chinese Astrology. The methods that I will share come from the divination branch, namely horary astrology in this particular case. And in my latest video, I showed a case with a client that asked me a question about a job offer, and here I showed the method and my prediction and what happened, etc. But before I delve into the methods, I would like to preface this video with some brief explanation about crypto, what crypto is, what its value is, etc. Now, cryptocurrency is a misnomer actually, but this is the way it has come to be called. The correct term is digital asset, or yes, digital asset or crypto assets, or yeah, but it's not a currency. It's not meant to to replace the fiat, the current monetary system. But why crypto is important? Well, crypto is important because of what's been happening in the world. In fact, crypto was the first crypto is Bitcoin, obviously the most the biggest one, the most the real deal, in other words. And it was created as a result of just another economic crisis caused by the bankers, by the private bankers, those that print the money, not the governments. And just as in 1929 and 2008, and crypto came about as a result of this to give the people an alternative. Now, some people say that crypto was created by the CIA or some by other intelligence agency. That could be true, just like the internet was created by the military, but look where it got, and where would we be without the internet? Where would the media be without the internet? Not talking about the corporate media. They've all been bought and paid for. Anyhow, the point is that crypto, the world that we've been living in, has given people a rude awakening as to the tremendous dangers to, I don't like this word democracy, but to freedom and to any semblance of a normal life on this planet. And what am I getting at? Well, in Canada this year, in February, Prime Minister Trudeau, who was elected by less than 20% of the people, anyhow, he invoked the Emergency Act illegally, by the way, and as a response of people who were gathering and demanding that he remove the unconstitutional and illegal mandates. And he and his people, they started harassing, they started beating, peaceful people who had assembled, who hadn't broken any law, etc., etc. When the public started supporting the so-called Freedom Convoy in Canada, Trudeau and his and people, the government stooges, they started blocking bank accounts of this. First of all, they blocked the donation a donation website called GoFundMe, and they blocked others, and they started blocking bank accounts of people. And it's unbelievable, in the 21st century, in a so-called democracy, especially a Western country, there were people, chilling examples in Telegram. Single moms. There was a case of a woman who she spent $20 or $50 to buy a t-shirt to support the Freedom Convoy, and her bank account was frozen. Friends, a single mother, her bank account was frozen. Many such cases. And the point I'm making is that when you don't have sovereignty over your own finances, when you're using another system, the government can shut you down. Yes, it's illegal. Yes, it's unlawful. Yes, you can sue their ass, but it will take months and years. You have to eat. You have to live physically on this planet. So the point is that these people, these smart people, these Canadian leaders of the Freedom Convoy, they contacted the crypto community, and they were educated about the values of crypto, and they started accepting donations in Bitcoin and other cryptos. And the government tried to block these donations, but it cannot do that because of the nature of crypto, because of the nature of the blockchain technology. You can't block it, you can't shut it down, you can't, because you don't control the private keys. So the point is that crypto, Canada was why it's so dangerous is because Canada, this traitor Trudeau, this stooge of Klaus Schwab's World Economic Forum, he set up a precedent. And because of this precedent, other governments around the world can now block. I mean, he took it so far that they can block people's bank accounts. Again, those people broke no law. Okay? And there was no injured party. There is no one who would come into court and testify that he was injured by people peacefully assembling, etc., etc. The police can testify as well. The mounted police, the horse police, etc. Anyhow, the point is that Canada was really perhaps the straw that or at least one of the small straws that broke the camel's back. And also, it's not just financial sovereignty, also what's been happening around the world with governments supposedly independently of each other, right? Developing CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, which would end any semblance of freedom that we have, if we allow them, of course. But the point is that the Chinese government, there were Olympic Games this year in China. And the United States government, it warned the athletes not to use the digital yuan, not to use this central bank digital currency of China, because they will be monitored and they can even be shut down. And the government advised the athletes to use cash, or to use debit cards or credit cards, etc. So again, if we have to be very clear about what is crypto and because crypto is, again, it's the type of it cannot be controlled. It can be regulated, but it can't be controlled. It can't be really shut down. But when you have central bank digital currencies on the other side of the spectrum, you can literally kill people, because who can survive with? I mean, people have to start pillaging and killing, and etc., etc. Because who can survive without food, without water, without paying their bills, with their mortgages, their credits, if they have credits, etc., etc., their loans. So the point is that this, again, what's been happening is, and also the situation with between Russia and Ukraine. Even though these governments they resist crypto and they're against crypto, because crypto offers an alternative to the banking system, against this private banking system. The government of Ukraine started accepting donations in crypto, and as a result of that, I mean, at least at first, obviously you can't help a country with $50-60 million at first, but when the banking system was down for days and even perhaps a few weeks, they started receiving these donations. And again, last time I checked, it was many months ago, but it was like $50-60 million or more. And again, this is life-saving money when you need, So again, even though the government is against crypto, it uses crypto when it suits their purposes. Talk about a double standard. But also, what happened to Russia's foreign reserves, currency reserves? This was inadmissible. There have been many wars in history. There will be other wars, probably. But you can't just take a sovereign country's foreign reserves, because they're not yours to take. So what the United States government, those that control it, and the British government, etc., what they did was also a rather rude awakening to people, because again, if you can confiscate another country's foreign reserves, again, just as you can shut people down, you can confiscate their bank accounts or what have you, block them, etc., etc. So always, again, this set up an extremely dangerous precedent. As a result of this, what's been happening in the world. But the point is that crypto provides people with an alternative. But it's really, really, it's really early. It's really nascent, and unless the people in large and mass adopt it, and unless especially retail and small merchants accept it, because if they block your bank account, you can use crypto with merchants who accept crypto. You see, you have an alternative that they cannot block. Again, you can't they can't, because you're holding your own keys, provided you have a hardware wallet, of course. But the point is, also another example. A few days ago, we had parliamentary elections here in Bulgaria. We're one of the, I think, the only country in the European Union that uses machines for voting, which is a disgrace. And these machines can be programmed and can be, tinkered with. And last year we had a case of 700 machines that were caught by conscientious employees at customs. And these machines, they were supposed to. The point is that these machines were they're not registered, and they're manipulating they can tinker the results of the elections, and they do, as has been shown. And but if we use the blockchain technology, we cannot change anything. We cannot falsify anything, because it's a public ledger. So with elections, not one vote will be able to be changed. It's really impossible. And this also opens the door. Again, it's consciousness and morality that that cause the real change, not technology or something else. But the point is, this would be a step in the right direction, but not just technology. We also have to keep the paper voting as well, and compare the results. Also, people who would want to buy real estate, you have to go to notary. You have to pay a huge fee, etc., etc. With the blockchain technology, you can, if it's adopted, if we push for this, etc., if more and more people, support this, you'll be able to go without a notary, basically. I mean, because again, you can't. What the notary does is she certifies. Again, with this technology, you're certifying, because it cannot be counterfeited and falsified. And not just for real estate, for the banking industry. The banking industry has to adapt or die. It's as simple as that. No longer will it be acceptable to have these huge commissions, for interest rates, for loans, for mortgages, for bank transfers, for what have you. You can send millions and even billions for extremely small fee, depending on what you're using. You can pay as much as little as $1 or $2, depending on what type of crypto you're using, or a few dollars, again, depending. Crypto is tremendous opportunity and addition to our culture, and again, it's a type of sovereignty that we should again, I'm not if they can shut down your bank account, just think about it. Really think about it. If they can shut down your bank account, if they can. And also, last thing before I move on to the practical part, the governments are openly working on I should say probably the government, because everyone is doing it under under somebody's direction, but they're working over these on these digital identities. Well, again, who control that? Always think about this, as with astrology, when we talk about who has power over who. The planets are fighting for power. They want to to rule the times, and give their fruits, etc., etc. Likewise here, digital identity, it has its role, especially in the digital world. With this technological world that we live in. However, again, the question is, who will be controlling this? Well, the government. Well, screw the government. The government is the servant of the people according to constitution and the laws, not the other way around. So again, if they can shut down your identity, if they can shut down your education, your credentials, if they can shut down your bank account, what type of world are we living in? And again, look at the social ratings, the credit ratings in China. That's they are trying to push this in the West as well, slowly, very slowly. But the point is, digital identity could be a great thing if you control your own digital identity and it cannot be falsified or taken away from you. So there are crypto projects that work on this. Again, it's about decentralization. You control your own digital identity, not the government, not anyone else, not anybody else. If we do it like this, sure, let's go ahead. I will still keep my physical documents, obviously, but no problem. So this is another tenet of crypto, of the crypto industry that should be borne in mind. And also, lastly, keep in mind that there are 18,000 crypto projects. Many of them are scams. They will not survive. They're rug pulls, etc. But again, as I said, the real deal is Bitcoin, and there are other, probably about out of 18,000, probably about a few hundred that have real value and application. It's up to to whoever is interested to research them, what they bring on the table, etc., etc. Just as an example, there is a crypto project that offers that you can use to save your information, terabytes, and I don't know I don't remember what's higher than terabytes. Almost limitless amounts of information that you can store. And this is priceless because, again, we have to consider not just our current times, but what will happen in 50 years, 100 years, etc. With this digital, with this internet stuff that they're deleting pages, proven many times, that you are manipulating history in this way. Whereas with even the developers of the project, they said that we don't care, for example, with Ukraine and Russia. We care about the news, we care about the quotes, we want to preserve this. Again, an excellent example. Whereas governments and Google, etc., and they're censoring information that's contrary to whatever agenda they're trying to push. So again, very useful, and this is at the heart of being human, of being a social animal, if you will, of sharing, of caring, and of being able to do so, not being censored. So let's get to it, folks. So this is I would like to share 2 examples of my practice. Now let me preface this by saying there are quite a few methods of predicting the movement of assets, regardless of whether we're talking about crypto or whether we're talking about the stock markets or foreign exchange markets, or oil or gas or gold or silver, coffee, corn, whatever, doesn't matter. The point is that there are astrologers who use, speaking of crypto, because Bitcoin is 40%, the Bitcoin market share is 40% out of the total crypto market cap of 18,000 cryptos. Bitcoin is about 40%. And initially it was much more, but the point is, Bitcoin is the sun. Bitcoin is the all-powerful. When Bitcoin moves, the other move. When Bitcoin falls, the other fall. So some astrologers use the chart of Bitcoin, the natal chart of Bitcoin, to make predictions about even about the crypto market in general. The issue with this is that there are several charts for Bitcoin, and the astrologers defending a given chart more than another. Also, the issue is that we don't have a location necessarily for the chart. what else? Well, we also have to consider that the crypto market, the crypto industry is tiny compared to the stock market. To give you an example, the crypto industry is about 1 trillion US dollars, whereas the stock market is about 80 trillion. It was more than 100 trillion. So many times smaller. The gold market is about 9-10 trillion or something around that. The real estate market is huge, and the oil market, etc. So the point is that when these huge markets fall, also there these correlations, that when a given market rises, another rises or another falls, depending on the correlation. When the DXY, the US dollar index rises, crypto falls, for example, or etc. There are these correlations, and so you have to take this into account as well. Let's see. Yes. So the approach that I prefer is, there are astrologers that use mundane astrology. I mean, they use very few of them, but they use that's the traditional approach. They use the phases of the superior planets, their conjunctions, etc. They use eclipses, lunations, seasonal increase charts, etc. And but the approach that I prefer is horary astrology, namely the divination branch horary astrology, and also as I showed in my video, also this Chinese I Ching numerology, Chinese plum blossom numerology that uses the trigrams and the hexagrams. But in this particular video, I will share 2 examples that I used horary astrology only. So let's get to it. First, I will examine this chart. A client asked me, this was in November last year, should I sell some of my Ethereum and buy Phantom over the next 30 days? Ethereum is one of those. The second biggest crypto project. Phantom is, I don't know, top 30, top 40, something like this, top 50. So as I've written down, the price of Ethereum was $4,200 US dollars. The price of Phantom was $2.03. Now disregard the price. I mean that this thing is 2,000 times more expensive. You don't measure it like this. You measure it according to the market capitalization. So Ethereum, there is it's tokenomics. It's the number of crypto coins or tokens. So if a given project has many billions of tokens, its price cannot be as high, obviously. But its crypto market cap, in other words, it's possible, theoretically possible, that Phantom could have a much higher market cap than Ethereum, regardless of price of per token. Anyhow, Ethereum is number 2. This is number 30, 40, 50. And so this was the question that he asked me. And now there are various methods of judging horary chart. For this type of questions, I use, as I showed in my previous video, this method of the first house and 7th house. The first house and its lord show the current situation, and the 7th house and its lord show the possible change. In other words, if the client decides to sell some of his Ethereum and buy Phantom. So this is the status quo, this is the change, should the client choose to make the change. So briefly, a quick look at the chart shows what? Well, the lord of the first is Saturn, and Saturn is in its own domicile and widely conjunct Jupiter. This alone is enough to tell to the client, to conclude, do not sell your Ethereum, hold your Ethereum. Why? Because the lord of the first, when it's in the first, it is obviously in its own domicile using whole sign houses. It's like a king, like a queen sitting on their throne. You can't fight a king or queen because they're independent, they're sovereign, they're sitting on their own throne. Whereas the lord of the 7th is the sun is in the 10th, it's even conjunct the 10th cusp, the midheaven, but the sun is peregrine, it has no dignities, and the sun is even conjunct a malefic, Mars, even though this malefic is receiving the sun. But the point is, the lord of the first is much stronger than the lord of the 7th. and we have secondary factors here. The moon is the lord of fortune, aspecting actually even both planets, but exalted moon. But the point is, sure, we have Mars overcoming the lord of the first, which is really negative, though it's a separating figure. But lord of the first much stronger than the lord of the second, the lord of the seventh, sorry. And the conclusion is unanimous. Hold your Ethereum, don't sell. Don't sell, don't buy Phantom again over the next 30 days. This is the time frame that he used. And let's see what happened. As I wrote down here, Ethereum was 4,200, Phantom was 203 on the 18th at the time of the asking of the question. Now take a look at this chart. First of all, take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum was, as I said, as you see here, at about 4,200. This is a 30-day chart. I mean, we have 180 bars, 4-hour chart. 24 hours is 6 bars. So we have 30 days times 6 bars per day, 180 bars. So Ethereum closed at about 3,800, 20, 3,800, 50, doesn't matter. These are small differences. So about here. So this is about 8% loss over the next 30 days. As you see, what happened with Phantom? Well, Phantom, it was here, as you see, about 203, and it closed about here at $1.30 something. So Phantom lost about over 30%. Again, this is because it's a 4-hour chart. There could be some difference, but about over 30%. So Ethereum lost about 8%. Phantom lost over 30% in a matter of 30 days. So the prediction was obviously very correct. However, one might say, wait a second, the client lost. I mean, the client lost money. Well, folks, it's up to the client to ask. I mean, depending on how a client asks a question, it's not. If you look at the overall crypto market, it's not just Ethereum that lost money or just Phantom. Everybody lost money. I mean, all the cryptos were down in this period. Pretty much. I mean, I can't say for 18,000 cryptos. For the major cryptos, they were all down. Not just the crypto market. The other markets were also starting to go down. Again, this is so. The point is that with this type of question, phrasing it like this, we can say which of the two will outperform the other, but we can't say we can't say for sure whether crypto A or asset A will lose or win over the next 30 days, because the question is not asked like this. Okay, the question, the chart showed it perfectly, as it always does when the question is sincerely asked. So the chart showed that don't sell, and now it's precisely because of this that I want to show you that another method that I use that's more accurate. But again, it's up to the client. It's up to the client. And also, let's see. Yes, I was going to say that there are cases where a client may have borrowed their crypto, or they have it locked to gain some some interest, so they may not be able to do anything about it during this period. You don't know the situation of the client and what pushes a person to ask a question like this. So it's again, we are just as an astrologer, I'm just reading the chart and delineating it and predicting it as objectively as I can. Okay, next is this is another question I was asked. In fact, it was earlier, but I deliberately chose to show you first the other method. This is a question about a coin called Miami coin, Mia coin, that was came about last year in late July or August 2021, and this question was asked to me on the 5th of September. Will Miami coin reach 15 cents 1 year from now? So over the next 365 days. And I wrote down here at the time of the asking of the question that Miami coin was about a cent and a half, between 1.3 and 1.5 cents. and closer to 1.40. Let's call it 1.4. It doesn't matter. It's very small differences. And now I have to say that depending on the tokenomics, depending on the overall investments in a given project, and a given crypto project token or coin can start selling at not at 1 cent. They can start selling at 30 cents, 50 cents, or etc. Or they can start selling at 1 cent. They can start selling at 0.1 or 0.001 or 0.000, many times zeros, because if they have, the more tokens they have, the cheaper it will be, because again, so pure economics, mathematics. So this thing, I don't remember how much it cost at first, but when I was asked, it cost again 1.4 cents, and he was asking about 10x, in other words, whether this coin, whether this token will increase 10 times over the next 1 year. Now again, if you're coming to this as from if you don't know about the crypto markets, 1,000% gain over 1 year is, that's crazy, that's impossible. No, it's not, folks. Far from it. There are cryptos that will make 10x. There are those that will make 20x, 50x, 100x. There are those that will make 1,000x. There are those that will make even more than 1,000x over 1 year. I'm serious. You can look it up. But again, there are 18,000, and it's not. We have to be careful here, because many of these, they're what's the phrase? Pump and dump. They're rug pulls. They're creating a project. They're pulling in investors. They're they're manipulating price, and then price goes down and remains down. And whoever made the money. Screw the others. So again, this mentality it's really unfortunate, but it's prevalent also in the banking industry and everywhere else. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in. So anyhow, the point is that 10x might seem impossible, but no, it's not. It's not, because, for example, again, we have to check. You can check, but this thing could have already run 10x or even 20x in a matter of a few weeks. It's possible, depending on what amount what was the price it started when they launched the project. So the question is this. Now this is another, because this question does not call for a comparison between two projects. It's simply asking for a given project. So the way I approach it is differently. I use it. So what is Miami Coin? It's a business. So someone is asking me about a business. Now pay attention here, for the astrologers, astrology students, etc. If the querent, the client asking the question is holding some of a given asset in their portfolio, then I would not look at it the way I'm looking at it here. Here it's a project that the person doesn't own any shares, any tokens. So he is asking me about a business. So a business is 10th house, but he's asking about the profit, about the revenue of the business. Which is the 11th house, because it's the second from the 10th. The 10th is the business, the second is the 11th is the second from the 10th. So the 11th house is the primary house. And what do we see? We see that the 11th is Scorpio, ruled by Mars, and we see that Mars is invisible. It's under the rays of the sun, and and the sun is approaching Mars, and the sun and even and it's even cadent. Extremely bad, like extremely bad. Now we can't say we're measuring quality here. I mean, we can't. We can. So the answer is no. It will not reach 15 cents. More than this, it will even go down in price. Definitely, most certainly, because again, not only is the chart is showing that the planet is about to become even worse. Its condition is going to be overrun by the sun. So the answer to this question, and hence my prediction, was it will not reach 15 cents and it will go down. really afflicted. And also, sure, someone could say, well, the Lord of the Tent is in the tent, Venus, it's graded, it's no domicile, etc. Sure, but not interested about so much about the again, the reputation of the business. I'm interested about the money flows, the client. And and also the Jupiter is squaring exactly within 1 degree the midheaven, the 10th house cusp. Great, but again, this is secondary, tertiary, etc. information. Also, the moon is squaring also very closely. But we also notice that the moon is about to lose all its light. As you see, the lot of fortune is in the ascendant. So this is also an extremely negative factor. All things being equal, it's a general factor, but it is important nonetheless, somewhat. And I should also say that there are astrologers that I know that, for example, they use Indian astrology, also called Jyotish, wrongly called Vedic, that they use the sidereal zodiac. That's fine, doesn't matter so much for it doesn't matter at all for divination actually, but they use a different method. They judge the whole chart. They don't judge based on a given house. What I'm doing is the traditional ancient Western traditional method, but anyhow, by the querent asking the person asking the question, and the quasi-tit, what is being asked about and what house it is represented and ruled by. Whereas they're using a universal approach, which is again, it's fine. It's a different tradition. It's also it's perfectly acceptable, and it produces just results that can be just as accurate. No, sure. They also use Krishnamurti sublords I've seen, and they also use nakshatras, or not just fixed stars but nakshatras, and also some also use the sounds. So there are various methods of predicting the movement of crypto assets. But yeah, so this is, and let's see what happened. Take a look, folks. Let me. This is where, as you see, about a cent and a half. And take a look, folks. Take a look. Sure, the whole market went down significantly. It went down, more than 3 times the market cap. But take a look, folks. It lost about 97% of its 365 bars, because it's a daily chart. One candlestick is 1 day, because it's a period of whole year. So it's about 0.589, call it, but it's, I don't, what's this, like 20 times, or I don't know, many times it lost, So, but the point is, the question was again, will it reach? No, it will not. It will not. And further than that, it will drop. So yeah, so this. This is basically it all that I wanted to share. This is my channel. This is the Pixabay, the site that I took the image from. This is my channel, Ancient in Chinese Astrology. If you like what I'm doing, if you resonate with it, if you would subscribe and like, I would appreciate it. If you have a question or a comment, I would be happy to read them and reply. Thank you.